Welcome back to the Vivacious Embrace Podcast with your host, Carissa Thornton. Yes, I'm back, you guys, with another episode this week. How exciting. I know everybody's been waiting for me. Um, how has your guys' week been? Y'all, how has your eclipse season been? How has everything been? In terms of the eclipse for me, it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster. A lot of fears have been coming up, a lot of wounds from the past. I went this past weekend when I went out, I was seeing so many fucking people that I went to school with. Oh my god. Oh my god. And honestly, for me, the type of mentality that I have is like, okay, when things happen in my life, I see it as a like, what is this bringing up for me? What is this teaching me? What is this trying to show me? Because like seeing people that I went to school with that I would like chase approval and validation from, and kind of like seeing them out in the wilderness so many years after being in school is very just like, it's so insane because it's like, oh my god, I forgot you existed, and I'm just like seeing you in the most like not even random or bizarre place, but it's just so like wow, like, and I've changed so much, and it's not even that like in that space when I was seeing them, I felt like a shell of myself, but it definitely really brought up a lot of things that were on theme with what has been coming up for me. Like a lot of fears around intimacy, or also chasing the approval and validation of other people, and then also like just the fear of rejection and the fear of criticism and being perceived and being seen, and how deeply rooted the fear of rejection and the fear of criticism from other people has quite literally been like in the driver's seat of my life. And especially being in school and feeling like I wanted to be in proximity and included by these groups of people that I put on a pedestal. And some of those people that I put on a pedestal, I did see when I was out a lot of people that I just like chased being accepted by, that I wanted to be in a friend group with. And I felt like that would make me complete. I felt like if I was friends with them, if I was in that friend group, then I wouldn't complain. Like my life would be so much fucking better. And I just clearly just in that time of my life was very dissatisfied with myself, as a shell of myself. I mostly in high school, this is really when that part of me that like was having trouble making friends, that didn't want to be seen, that really kept quiet, like that fear of just talking to people and even just being in large groups of people and being seen, having attention on me, really like paralyzed me. And it wasn't always like that, but when it really got to like eighth grade, high school, that's when that fear, I feel like, tripled. And even in that time in my life, I really noticed that huge visceral difference of like from seventh grade, or like that early part of middle school to eighth grade, and then the high school. I in seventh grade, like I was more like outward, if that makes sense. Like I was more extroverted, I was more like willing to talk to people, make friends, like I was more, I feel like, myself. And granted, like I still wasn't fully myself, like there are still parts of myself that I was suppressing, and then parts of myself that I poured more into that other people liked, and I just fully wasn't myself. But I wasn't so much a shell of myself then when I got older and went into high school, especially in like the ninth and 10th grade. Like I was just quiet. I was very quiet. And like granted, I've always been somebody who's been kind of quiet, but it wasn't always like to those extremes. And yeah, that's kind of how it's been going for me. And like I said, it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster. Like there have been times when I felt like on top of the fucking world. I felt so good, so empowered, ready to do my thing, my little 212. And then there are just times that when these wounds, these fears, these feelings of shame come up, it's just like, okay, I'm crying, I'm feeling it, and it's very heavy. And I've been writing. And the thing about when I feel these feelings, when I feel these intense, heavy feelings, it inspires me so much. My shame, my story, my life inspires me so much to write. And honestly, I really do want to take my creativity, my writing, my poetry seriously, my art seriously in general, because bitch, I'm a multi-dimensional, multifaceted being. I'm a woman of many talents, and there really is no limits to what I can do, child. Period. Um, And I just really want to take that more seriously because I am an artist, I am a creative, and I feel like writing is something that just very much flows naturally for me. Like, but I think in poetry, I think in rhythmic writing, I think in how I can put words together, I think of how I can translate how I'm feeling into words and into a poem, into a story. And there's always that part of me that's like, am I just intellectualizing it? But also, like, maybe, sure, we can, that can also be true because multiple truths can exist at once. But I also think about how, like, it's not even just intellectualization, it's also like, I do feel it. Like, the fact that I'm able to articulate it in this way is a result of me being able to actually feel it in my body, being able to locate it, being able to just, like, I don't know, I just there like and there's also maybe that truth that maybe I am attaching a story to it. But it's like this is just like my creative endeavor. These are my creative ways and there really is no right or wrong. There truly is no rules. And seeing how I give my power away in terms of chasing external approval and validation outside of myself and really sitting with like that has also been really heavy for me because I've really been sitting with and been faced with the fact that I don't feel safe in my body, that I don't feel safe being myself, that in the past, being safe, I've been met with being mocked and being made fun of, with things that I've liked, with ways that I've dressed, with just me being myself and people being bothered with that. And it just, I feel like I need that external approval and that validation in order for me to feel safe and for me to feel okay with doing what I'm doing and being myself. And granted, this is coming up because, those beliefs, those feelings are clearing out because I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to live in that constant state of chasing external approval, for constantly giving my power away to other people, for constantly feeling like who I am is not good enough and not valuable because other people are not proving that to me. And it's honestly really draining and exhausting, and sometimes I really do have to remember that these things that are coming up are temporary. They're coming up so I can shed light on them, so I can validate them, so I can process it. And it's not coming up just because it's my truth and it's like this thing that I have to live with for the rest of my life. It's just like these things are coming up from my past, these things. And also seeing how I've been projecting my own beliefs about myself onto other people and thinking, like, oh, it's these other people. Like, no, it's not other people. It's my projections. These are my projections. This is me who is creating this reality, this distorted idea of how other people perceive me through my own idea of how I perceive myself and how I view myself, and just through the lens of shame and just feeling like I'm not good enough and all of these things. And honestly, like sometimes in times like these with eclipse seasons and these planetary alignments, when I actually see it from that perspective, like these things are happening for my greatest and my highest good, I can't help but express gratitude towards like the solar eclipse in Virgo, the Saturn retrograding back into Pisces, the lunar eclipse happening in Pisces, and the new moon and the full moons. Like all of these things are happening for our greatest and highest good, and it's so beautiful being able to witness and experience a life where you really, when you see it like that, like how truly connected we are to everything and how connected we are to the planets and to the solar system and to all of it, and how it we're just so interconnected and it's so cyclical and it's so divine, and it really is for our benefit. And being able to see things from a place of, oh, this is temporary and this is for my benefit, it really helps you be empowered because you're like, this is something that I can work with, this is something that wants my attention for me to alchemize, for me to transform. Because what they say, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can be transformed. And this energy of not feeling good enough and believing that I have in order for me to feel safe in who I am, I have to have that approval, I have to have that green light from other people, can be transformed into, oh, I can validate myself, I can reparent myself. And it really is truly empowering because it just is this whole different perspective shift that was always available, but sometimes in those times in my life when I was younger and I was really in the thick of those beliefs being developed, those seeds being planted, and those beliefs just continuing to be like anchored in, I just probably wasn't ready for that. But it's neither here or there. But I just I think it's but on the terms of just how everything is so connected, I'm so lucky and grateful that I live on a planet where I get to experience sunrises, sunsets, the cyclical nature of seasons. You know what I mean? Like, also happy fall. Like, yesterday was the first day of fall. Okay, it's 22nd of September. It's autumn equinox. I love the fall. Like, I'm gonna miss the summer, y'all. Like, when I tell you, I love the fall. I don't mind the colder seasons. Like, I love the seasons. I find beauty. I experience and I see the beauty in all of the seasons. But one thing about the colder seasons that is like not my favorite is the cold mornings. I do not like cold mornings. Like, only when I have to get up early though, because especially like when I was in school, especially in fucking high school, and I had to get up at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Like, that shit was criminal. We should not be waking up that early. Like, people should not be waking up that early, especially a woman. As a woman, I should not have to wake up that early. But y'all aren't ready for that conversation. 11:11, bitch. But just like those cold mornings, and especially like I hated being in high school. I hated ninth grade. 10th grade was fine, and then COVID happened, and then I literally dropped out and got my GED, and I've never been to school. I haven't been back to school since. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank God my path is not school. Thank God, thank you God. Literally, thank you. I feel blessed. I feel like a chosen one. I'm kidding. No, but literally. But yeah, cold mornings, no ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No. I just no, like, but I want to be in my bed. I want to be in my bed in my with my blankets. I'm just oh my god, I'm so glad that I don't have to wake up in the butt crack of dawn anymore. Like, uh, it was so nice. Well, that it's so nice not having to do that anymore. It's just not the vibe. It's really not the fucking vibe. Like, and that's why I loved middle school so much because we would only really like. I think we would have to be picked up at like I don't even remember, but I remember it not being as fucking early because I would have to wake up at like 6 a.m. to go to school in high school and then maybe wake up at like 7, maybe 8 for middle school. I forgot, like, y'all, that was almost 10 years ago. So don't ask me shit because I don't remember that much, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, I try to block it out as much as possible, but honestly, trying to suppress those memories is. It's not going anywhere. It's just going into my subconscious, so I might as well face it so I can alchemize it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of running from something when it's energy that you can work with, when it's energy that you can use for your benefit and your greatest and your highest good? Because that's really, we're here to empower. We're here to be empowered. We're here to live our best lives. Hmm. Oh, y'all, follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, by the way. My TikTok is Vivacious Embrace, and then on Instagram it's Vivacious Embrace with an underscore, but it will be changed to Vivacious Embrace without the underscore because Instagram is playing fucking games. Okay, Instagram has changed so much over the years, and I don't like it one bit, but I have no control over it, so we're gonna complain. I'm gonna complain. I don't care. I don't care. Like, complaining sometimes is just what we need to do as human beings. Like, I mean, complaining doesn't change anything, but sometimes it just needs to be said. Sometimes we just need to let the things off of our chest because being radically honest with yourself is better than lying to yourself and trying to convince yourself that everything's okay when it's not. Period. Um, Honestly, why is this my favorite episode so far? That's actually not true, but it's one of my favorite episodes. Um, but yeah, on I guess talking more about like the eclipse and the things that's been coming up for me, especially like fears. Can we talk about how difficult and debilitating it is to believe the beliefs for me is like struggling to believe that I'm actually loved and cared for, that I'm actually worthy and deserving of that, which is so fun. But I remember even growing up when people would express care for me and concern for me, I did not believe it. And that's so sad because I was a fucking child. You know what I mean? And thinking about how like a lot of these beliefs have been implanted since I was very young and as a child, just kind of believing that your existence is not something worth being loved or cared for is actually really fucking sad. And honestly, I can't help. Sorry, y'all, my eyes are dry. I can't help but like feel sorry for myself. And honestly, we need to destigmatize feeling sorry for yourself. We need to dig me down. Um, the victim mindset. What is that? That's a shadow. It's a shadow monster. Oh my god, it's me. LOL. Girl, I thought that was something else. We need to destigmatize the victim mindset because people think like when you have a victim mindset, it's in reality, it's literally just you admitting the hardship that you've experienced in your life. Like sometimes you are the victim, and that's not to say that you're always going to be the victim. However, oh my god, my eyes. However, being able to admit to yourself the hard, painful, traumatizing shit that you have experienced in your life is not victim mentality. It is quite literally one of the first steps into healing. Being able to admit the things that you have experienced in your life, the pain, because a lot of people suppress their emotions because they think acknowledging it, talking about it, is holding on to it. But in reality, when you're not willing to talk about it, to face it, to admit those things happen to you, you're still holding on to it then. You're holding on to it more because you think that that didn't affect you. You're denying the effect that it had on you. You're denying your inner child, okay? And this is you see especially with people who struggle with like substance issues and addictions and stuff, which honestly there's no shame in that because at the end of the day these are a result of really deep rooted pain that people are not willing to face and willing to accept that is there, right? And there are people who I've heard, like, you just need to let shit go. You just need to let shit go. You need to stop holding on. And those are the same people who have these vices and have these habits that are quite literally destroying their lives and their bodies. But people are not ready for that conversation. Those people are not ready, but that's besides the point. But I think you're better off being able to admit the things that have happened in your life that have caused you pain because you're able to kind of move forward and not let it control your life. Because these things don't go away just because you consciously or your mind is wanting you to forget and constantly gaslighting you into thinking that you're holding on to it by talking about it or admitting that it happened. Like your subconscious is holding on to that shit. And the more that we deny it, it's going to go farther and farther into us. And you just become more disempowered because you're at mercy at your shadow. You're at mercy at the things that you think don't affect you. And that's how I feel with chasing out external approval from other people. I feel like I'm at mercy at if other people recognize me and celebrate me or not, because I do want connection. I do want to be celebrated. I want to be in community with people who love and accept me for who I am. And even when I feel like that has fallen to my lap, I've sabotaged it because in order to have that close connection, that deep soul connection requires responsibility and sometimes not responsibility, vulnerability. And vulnerability is a risk. And that fear of being vulnerable for me and associating love or from my past experiences of love, and I feel and constantly believe from my own personal experience that love means abandonment, that people will leave me, that people, like, even if they are tender to me, that they're going to drop me and leave me and abandon me, and vulnerability being a weakness. And I also see how I get in my own way, which is really like, it's honestly great. Like, it's honestly great. Like, call me out. Call me out, babe. Like, I love being called out. Like, call me the fuck out. Because being called out really is not a bad thing. It's just an opportunity for you to pivot in the direction of what you truly want and get out of your own fucking way. But honestly, like, being vulnerable is fucking scary. Expressing your needs, expressing what you truly want is not always easy for me. And I see, like, within my past experiences with being in community and like leaving out of the fear of being rejected, because I wanted more, but I felt like if I asked for more, then that wasn't valid, or people would reject that, or people, like other people in the group, would be like, no, we're fine with the level of connectivity that we're at. So just like what I wanted was just not valid, basically, to sum it up. And just kind of like rejecting that part of me that wanted that and before other people would reject it, but I'm just like convincing myself of what I think other people are going to say, and just all of these things. And like, I see these things, I recognize these things, and I see how I don't want to continue to do that anymore. I don't want to continue to rob myself of the connections that I truly desire. And but with that being said, being vulnerable is something that does scare me, is something that is a risk, is something that can be led to rejection. That's always a possibility, but it's through the lens of viewing people who have never really shown me the evidence of the things that I've convinced myself to be, and thinking that they're just going to be like the people from my past, like my family, my parents, who rejected and denied my emotional needs and um, my emotional world, basically. And it's really hard. It's really hard. It's honestly really debilitating. And it's like talking about it and being able to just like verbalize it really makes me cry, which honestly, it's so beautiful because, like, at least I'm willing to talk about it and admit these things to myself because I want that for myself. And I'm determined to provide a safe space for myself and to just like build those foundations where I can feel safe within, and to validate every part of myself, every facet of my being. And that, like I said, that is something I'm truly oh my God, devoted and committed to, because I do deserve that. And I really have to just keep reminding myself when these things come up, they're not coming up to remind me that I'm not worthy or to reiterate that. It's just for me to face it. Like, it's meant to be faced because it's not truth. And I wrote a poem yesterday as I was sitting with the shame and just like sitting with that belief that I'm unlovable and feeling unlovable and feeling hard to love and feeling like just not feeling safe to receive love, because I feel like if I allow it in, then it's just gonna be taken away from me. It's like it's gonna be the rug is gonna be yanked from me. And it's honestly just really heartbreaking when you think about it, because as when you think about it objectively and you think about it from, like, I guess, a divine um energetic perspective of just like what God is and unconditional love, and not like the colonized God that is judgmental and views human beings as these inherently sinful beings, and decolonizing your relationship with God and just seeing how like God unconditionally loves you, and God is not a something that condemns you. Like, God is not this human thing. It's God is energy and we are God. And just like seeing it from that perspective and seeing how like I inherently am worthy of unconditional love regardless, and accepting that I can be loved, accepting that I can be cared for, that I'm worthy of love, that I'm deserving, that has been something that's been hard for me to accept and to receive, because part of me doesn't believe it. Part of me feels like it's hard to love me, and like there are people in my life throughout my entire life who have showed me love, who have showed me that they cared about me, who have supported me, and who have celebrated me. And granted, it hasn't always been the healthiest relationships and dynamics, and has been instances with my family where it's like, oh well, I love you, and it's like, oh, it's like the tough love, that like really toxic shit. The criticism and the bashing and the pulling down, but also being able to say I love you in the same breath, and just kind of like associating love with being conditional and critical and judgmental. And I personally don't want that anymore. I don't want that for myself. I don't want to put that out, because I see how I operate from that type of conditional love space where it's like I love people if they support me, but if they're not, and I automatically think that they hate me, and I convince myself and I tell myself the story, then it's like, okay, well, fuck you, type of thing. And it's just like, no, I just want to love. I just want to love. I just want to connect. I I don't want to constantly assume the worst and project the worst and convince myself of the worst within situations and about other people. And I feel like I see that this is a story that I'm telling myself. I see that this is programming. I see that this is a pattern, a generational pattern that has been passed down. And also, Mars is moving into Scorpio. I think it's already moved in there, and that's my fourth house. And I also feel like, oh my God, wait, why is this clicking for me all of a fucking sudden, y'all? Because, oh my God, because like the fourth house represents, the home, mother. In like the traditional chart, it's ruled by Cancer, and Cancer is like the familial, not the familial, the maternal, also familial because it does have to do with the home, and it has to do with like that thing, like the mother side of the lineage, right? And I see how in my lineage, in my home, and then my mother's side, how love was represented in the home, and seeing how I project that same conditional, critical, judgmental relationship not only with myself but also onto other people, and feeling like resentful because I'm not getting that approval that I expect, that unspoken like need, right? Wow, that really fucking clicked. Y'all, astrology is so fucking amazing. Astrology, healing, like all of this shit kind of makes fucking sense. Like, I see how these things are playing out in my life. I see how the healing work and breaking these generational curses are playing out in real fucking time. Like, and y'all got to witness this in real time. Oh my God. Um, damn. That's powerful, y'all. That makes so much sense, though. But yeah, that I see how that all ties together, especially with this eclipse energy, and just like with eclipse, the Virgo Pisces axis, Virgo ruling my second house, Pisces ruling my eighth, bitch, because I'm a Leo rising, the best and the only. Come on now, keep up. Y'all should already know this by now. Um, and just kind of seeing how like my worth and approval and love and all of these things and all of these seeds were planted about my self-esteem and my self-confidence, not just in the home, but that it really does start there. Like these seeds were also planted and further protruded into also going being in school, and also not having like the kindest teachers. Like, bitch, the stories that I have with some teachers from my past is like, why the fuck would you treat a fucking child like that? Like, bitch, I was in elementary school. Bitch, I wasn't like, I'm a fucking kid. Like, come on now. Like, honestly, imagine being a fucking teacher and being a fucking jerk to a child. Like, you're a fucking loser. I hate to say it. Like, I'm not above, I'm not above criticism. Like, I'm not above saying what needs to be said. I'm not above, like, I'm not a love and light spiritual girly. Like, no, I will call you a fucking loser because that is fucking loser behavior. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, you're a whole ass adult. Like, babe, you're pushing 60, teaching second graders. Like, you're a loser. I mean, you're not a loser because that's your job, but you're a loser because you're so fucking miserable that you take it out on literal second grade children. Like, you're a loser, babe. Go get some help. No, but like I said, it has to be said. It has to be said. Oh my God. No, because I hope these people see this. No, because honestly, for me too, it's like when I reflect back onto the times in my life where I see that, like, oh, this person was an asshole to me. Oh, this person really did me fucking dirty. Like, oh, you're a loser. Like I'm just like, I want revenge. And I'm honestly not above revenge. I'm not above that. And granted, like obviously I'm not going to get revenge. Like, I can just transmute the energy for my benefit, and I'm still learning how to do that, and how to, because to transmute energy, to transmute your emotions, because emotions are energy, you have to actually feel it. You can't just suppress it and be like, oh, I'm alchemizing. Like, you actually have to feel into the emotion and tap into it to transform it. Like, alchemy is not something that happens when you bypass your emotions. That's not how that works. um, but like I said, like, there's that part of me that's just like, bitch, I want revenge. But honestly, my revenge is loving myself, not letting other people control my life, not letting the approval or the disapproval of other people, shape my reality. Um, and just like taking my power back and going apeshit on these whores. Like, I know Charlie XX would have fucked with my vibe. Like, literally, like, I'm done playing nice. Like, I'm literally done playing nice. I'm going fucking apeshit on these horrors. Oh my god, can we talk about overcompensating real quick? I love that show. I just rewatched it for like the third, fourth time last night. Because it's that fucking good. It's such a funny show, and they're making a season 2. Thank God. I hope it doesn't come out in 2027, bitch. I need it next year. I need it like the first month of next year. I'm so serious. It's such a good show. Peter, he's so fine. You just ever see a man and you just be like, bitch, I want to sit on your face. Like, yes, that's exactly how it is. Oh my god. No, because like literally like or Adam, whatever the fuck his last name is, D'Amelio or something. Like, I don't know, like is he part of the Charlie D'Amelio family clan? Like, I don't know. But he's so fine. And he's pushing 40, but honestly, I don't care. Like, I mean I do because that man is no, he's not he's pushing 40, but that doesn't mean he is 40. He's like in his like mid to late 30s. Babe, what is that? That's like over 10 years. Listen, I do not support a like large age gap relationships. I mean, like honestly, that's really none of my business. But at the end of the day, like if you're fine, you're fine. Like if you're like that him level fine, oh, put your head between my legs now. Y'all, I'm honestly gonna just start talking more horny and when I just talk and make my videos and my content. Like honestly, like that's just like the true state of how I feel sometimes. Like, yeah, it's like it's not a problem. I'm not gonna say it's a problem because like this is a natural human response. It's because I have Mars in my eighth house. Okay, going back to astrology. If you know, you know, and especially because Pisces rules my eighth house. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Honestly, this episode's so fun. Like, I love that I'm like loosening up in my episodes because, bitch, I want to talk about it. Like, I just want to talk. Like, I just want to be myself. Like, I just want to be myself. I just want to be free from chasing the approval of other people. Like I feel like I've been keeping myself shackled. I've been chasing that, and obviously, like there's a reason for that. There's a reason because in my fucking childhood, I was not celebrated and accepted and approved of for who I fucking was. Bitch, I was rejected in so many different fucking ways by my family, by like I said, my teachers, by my peers growing up. Like even when I wasn't looking for it, even when I wasn't asking for it, somebody was saying something that they shouldn't have been about me and just trying to put me fucking down. Like, bitch, as a Leo rising, like, some of you bitches would never even fucking survive a day in my shoes. Like, you wouldn't even survive a day in my shoes. Granted, my life is not for y'all to survive because, bitch, I was put into this life for me to live, period. But that's besides the point. But even some of y'all's life, I probably wouldn't have fucking survived. Like, let's be real here. I wouldn't, I don't know. Honestly, I'm really glad I have the life that I do. Like, it hasn't always been fucking easy being me, but honestly, like, I'm a baddie. Like, period. Like, I'm a baddie. I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga a munch. I hate that word. Oh my god. But like, I'm glad that like, even if I choose to say it, I get to say it. I mean, you can say it regardless. Like, nobody can really stop you from saying it. But we, but if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm a better I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? You thought I was feeling you. Oh my god. Y'all, I've been talking and we're already 30 minutes in. Like, I feel like only 10 minutes have gone by. That's just, what's that saying? Time flies when you're having a good time. Like, that's honestly how I feel right now. And honestly, like, I just love that I'm creating this space for myself where I can be myself and just talk about the things that I want to talk about. And I want to know what themes in this eclipse season or just like whatever in general are happening or popping up for you guys. If you're tapped in Obvi. But also, I was thinking today about how, like, nobody is really, like, above falling into, like, fascist, alt right pipeline propaganda, and especially being in, like, the spiritual the astrology, like, side of social media, and just, like, that's something that I am into and is something that is, like, my niche interests. Well, they're not super niche, but, like, just one of my special interests and seeing how how a lot of these spaces are very colonized, are very whitewashed, and I feel like some of the things that I have adapted or some of the things that I've said without even really my intention being like, because for me, where I stand. I'm not somebody who like cares about politics. Like I don't side with the like right or left. I don't really fall into like any of the labels of like leftist or and like I don't care. I don't really know what that shit means. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you, so I'm not gonna like subscribe to a label that I don't really fucking know what it means, and I honestly don't really care enough to actually learn about what it means. Like, bitch, my stance is collective liberation, freedom for all people with no conditions. And it honestly has been conditional for me. Like it has been conditional. It hasn't been always consistent. And I feel like, like being a hypocrite is a part of growth. Like, bitch, if you aren't contradicting what you've said from a year ago, are you even really growing? Like, let's be real here. Um, but also like I see like how a lot of talking points within these communities can really have you leaning towards like fascist ideologies or very like discriminatory ideologies of separation. And as somebody who talks about empowerment and um and I watched a video today of an astrologer talking about how like other astrologers kind of spew those type of talking points and kind of lean people into like falling down the alt-right pipeline. And it really had me thinking about things that I say or support that might come from that. And like for me, what I talk about is very much rooted in empowering yourself, because being disempowered is a part of the matrix programming here in this world. And being disempowered upholds these systems of oppression, because when you're disempowered you are oppressing yourself in so many fucking ways. And you know um and like I always say that it is by design, and how a lot of issues in this world are a result of living in a capitalistic society that designs and creates people to be in lower states of consciousness, of lower vibrations of fear and shame and just being disconnected to yourself. And I feel like it just really had me thinking about like how can I continue to spread my message and share the things that I want to talk about, and also like be honest and just be conscious about like not shaming people who might be in lower vibrational states, because it's not necessarily like a bad thing. Like being in a low vibrational state is not like a bad thing that makes you a bad person. Like it is by design and nobody is above that. Like we have all been born into the same system. We have all been born into the same matrix world. And there are these systems and structures that are not something that you can just fucking escape just because you become empowered. Being empowered is not like this thing that's gonna magically pop you out of capitalism and white supremacy. It's not, but it's also about seeing that these systems and these structures, while they exist and while there are limitations and there are these things that do keep people oppressed, you can also free yourself. And I feel like a lot of us rely so heavily on being free or depending on these systems to free us, that we forget that we can free ourselves, that there is work that needs to be done, internal work that needs to be done to free yourself. Because it's not even just the systems of capitalism, it's also the ways that we feel like we're not good enough. It's the ways that we talk to ourselves. It's the ways that we're disconnected to ourselves. And like you really begin to free yourself when you're able to face your fears, when you're able to do these things. And obviously these are not like a fix or something that happened overnight. Like these things take time. It takes a lot of fucking time to do these things. Like in healing and freeing yourself and facing your fears is not like this linear experience that's like once you do it, you're fucking free forever and you're gonna be fucking vibrating in the higher realms. Like that's not how that works. And I feel like as I continue to grow and to get clear on my message, I will continue to get clear on my message and like where I stand on this. I am somebody who's very devoted and passionate about liberation and freedom, and also being consciously aware that like not everybody has that space to do that work, because there are people who are in war zones, people who don't even have their basic fucking needs met, who are not safe, and especially in places that are experiencing oppression and exploitation and genocide, right? And I always have to remember like that these people also deserve to be involved in these conversations. And as somebody who I also believe that empowering yourself empowers the collective. And I feel like, especially in, I guess, these spaces of activism, that's not really something that I feel like is overlooked or talked about or not taken seriously. Like, I feel like people really underestimate the value of doing that internal work. People really underestimate or don't take seriously enough the value of doing that work and empowering yourself. Because it's like, well, how is that related? But it's like, I can't really force people to see it or to agree with me. I can just share what I know as I continue to get clear on my message, get clear on the things that I want to talk about. I need to blow my nose. Get clear on the things that I feel devoted and called to talk about. But as somebody who does have that privilege that I do have my basic needs met, and I do live in a country where I am not really worried about my safety. I mean, obviously I do worry about my safety um in times like these, because people are fucking crazy out here and people are very violent, unfortunately, and for no fucking reason. But also, like, I validate that fear, but I know that, like, I have discernment and intuition too, and that is also something that is very powerful. And I feel like when you, like, as I, like, trying to just tap more into my intuition and my discernment, and just necessarily not staying or keep continuing to go back to the same people, places, and things that I feel like weren't a safe space for me, or places that I feel like aren't going to accept me for who I am, like, that fear kind of minimizes. And it's so unfortunate because there's also that fear of, like, betrayal. I feel like in this society where you see people who literally get, like, hurt and assaulted in fucking public, and nobody's really coming to them to, like, help them and assist them. Bitch, I'm recording a fucking podcast episode. Like, be so fucking for real. What are they spraying in the air? Y'all, sometimes I just, like, why? Like, what? Like, why? There's a fucking car that was driving by and they were spraying some shit. I don't know what they're fucking spraying. Y'all, I can't. I literally can't. Oh my god, I feel like I should be concerned. And my window's open. Um, but also I feel like it's just that, like, that fear of betrayal when it comes to community and just, like, society in general, because we have been so individualistic and just, like, lacking care, consideration for other people. And it's like that fear of, like, oh well, if something happens to me, will people even advocate for me? Will people even care? If something happened to me in public, would people even stand up for me? And, like, obviously, of course I can always be a voice for myself, but it's like I shouldn't just have to rely on myself. Like, as human beings, we're relational creatures and we're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to be isolated. We are creatures that are meant to, or are built for community. And obviously, like, living in an individualistic, capitalistic, consumerist society that has created this structure to be where we are just so divided and so individualistic, and think that, we can just be hyper individual and that's just, like, how we're supposed to live. But that's just not true. That's just not true. Like, we have learned to adapt to live like that, but just because we learn to adapt doesn't mean it's we're thriving, doesn't mean that there aren't mental, physical, emotional, spiritual repercussions that affect us very much. And it's really fucking sad to see. And I feel like this fear is so fucking valid. And I feel like I'm not alone in this fear, because it's like, well, if somebody was fucking racist to me, right? Like, can I count on my community? Can I count on the people in proximity in my around me to stand up for me? And it's like, I feel like, I can't, especially in, like, spiritual communities, or as people, like, who talk about things that are spiritual. And people are like, oh, I don't talk about politics, I don't talk about all of these things. Like, and it really makes me think about how, like, okay, so if you were presented in a situation where somebody was experiencing some type of discrimination, would you be silent? Would you be complicit in somebody else's, would you can be complicit? Because it's like, a lot of these people who are spiritualists are also very individualistic. And I feel like, being spiritual doesn't put you above advocating for people who experience discrimination. It doesn't put you above advocating for people who very much experience in real time like these real life systemic problems. And that's one thing that really bugs me, I guess, about like love and light spirituality, about like spirituality, astrology, all of these things, because it's like if you were really put in a situation or around somebody who where somebody was being like homophobic or sexist or racist or just being violent, like, and granted, like, obviously if it's a violent situation, like, that makes sense that, you know, to not necessarily get yourself involved because you can be affected by it too. But it's like, I just don't trust a lot of people who are in these spaces. I really don't. Like, it's a very individualistic. It's very like, okay, how can I manifest my dream life? And don't get me wrong, bitch, I want to manifest my dream life too. I like, I want material things. I want to have nice things. I want to be able to make more than enough money to be able to support the lifestyle that I want, to be able to buy the food that I want, because I want to eat whole foods, right? I want to eat foods that nourish me because I love eating whole foods. Notice a complete difference that I feel just in like every fiber of my being when I eat whole foods. I want to be able to buy clothes that are sustainable and cotton, but also like that are within my fashion sense, and just like dress the way that I want to. And I also, you know, want to do all of these things to support, like I said, support the lifestyle that I want to live. And there's nothing wrong with being materialistic. There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. Like, we've all fucking deserved nice things, right? Like, this is a 3D reality, bitch. And I'm meant for that. Like, and I desire that because I'm meant to experience that. However, I also know that that's not all what life is about. And I just feel like in the spiritual community, in the manifestation world, that kind of gets lost in translation. I feel like there's such an emphasis on manifesting all of these things. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to manifest your dream partner. Like, which I want my dream partner. Like, I want all of those things. However, I don't put that over. I don't. I as somebody who's also put other people over me, like, I want to prioritize myself. I want to have boundaries. I want to be able to choose myself and know that like my relationship with myself is the most important, and that like putting myself first is inevitably like what I want to do, but not in an individualistic way. Because, you know, like, you can't really, I mean, you can pour into other people's cup, but I want to make sure that my cup is full before I try to pour into other people's cup, because I poured from an empty cup before for majority of my life. Sometimes I still fucking do. And honestly, like, these habits are not the easiest to break. These things are not the easiest just to snap your fingers out or just to declare out loud. Like, I mean, yes, you can declare it out loud and trust that you will be led into that direction, and that a part of breaking the cycle is continuing the cycle and stepping back into those habits and pouring from an empty cup. Like, it's all, is that the fucking SIM card? Yes, is that it? I don't think that is though. But that's just like something that I think about too, about the community, and just how like it is very colonized. It's very much a colonized space, and it's like I don't really trust spiritualists who do not, I guess, do that decolonization work, who don't do that work to be like somebody who you can like trust to advocate for those things. Because being spiritual does not make you above advocating for oppression and injustice, and thinking that that makes you low vibrational, or because like, oh, you don't see that type of content, that you're not on that vibration. Like, that within itself is very like, babe, it's giving colonized, it's giving love and light spirituality. And it's like, and I think associating advocating for oppression and injustice and associating that with being like in lower states of consciousness is very fucking dangerous, because that only benefits the people who are perpetuating this oppression and this exploitation. That it, like, and it's one thing that if that's people's truth, like, if you like, especially with a lot of palm colored people, right? Like, that is quite literally, I feel like, a cycle and a curse within like white people's lineage, right? Like, it's giving you're not doing ancestral work, babe. It's giving you're not breaking those it's giving you're not restoring balance in your lineage. Like, bitch, I'm scared. Let me get on my phone, child. Hold on. Um, 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 um. Honestly, this episode was so fucking good, y'all. I'm gonna honestly talk about that more on my TikTok. Oh, I've been getting back into playing guitar again, and my fucking fingers, like the tip of my fingers hurt so bad, which is normal. Um, this is like the beginning process of my fingers creating calluses, but because like you have to press so hard on the strings where like the neck of the guitar is, and it hurts, it hurts. But it's so fun. Like, I honestly, since I've been away from being where I live now, and I was with my mom for a while, I didn't have my guitar. Like, there's other guitars at my mom's house, but I just wanted my fucking guitar. Like, excuses, whatever. But I've honestly missed playing it. I miss practicing. And my grandfather, he played the guitar and he bought me this guitar. And honestly, like, as I like strum, I think like the D and the B string, it's just so like beautiful. I actually do it now before I wrap this episode up. Isn't it pretty though? It's like a really nice blue and it ombres into black. This is not the best lighting for you to see it. And then I also have this like really cute like strap. So thank you, grandfather. Rest in peace. I missed you. But this is what I'm talking about. It's like just so angelic and so like beautiful and peaceful, especially to play at night when like the crickets are cricketing and all that shit. Especially like where I live here. So like I wouldn't say it's in the country, but it's definitely not like city. And so it's like very quiet. You definitely hear the insects outside, and there isn't really any like jets flying over, and just like the night is very night like. It's when I lived with my grandma out in the country in Suffolk, and it was just very peaceful and quiet, and just like I miss that. I love peace. I love peacefulness. I love nature. I love being out where nobody really can reach you like that and bother you. But yeah. Oops. And then I'm gonna play chords for you guys. Okay. So this is E minor. Wait. Y'all, my fingers hurt so fucking bad. And then this is G. Okay. Okay. Yep. And then this is C. It's a little loud. Okay. Ow. And then this is D. And then I think that's it. That's like, yeah, I played E minor, I played C, I played G and D. Yeah. And I'm just like really playing with those right now. And like the transition between the chords and stuff like that. But honestly, I want to get into like playing my favorite songs. Like, I am not advanced at any level, but like for me, that's fun, and that's what's gonna get me to be consistent. It's like with working out. Granted, I haven't worked out in a while, which I really want to get back into it, but like doing dance workouts to like my favorite songs is something that really like when you look forward to something, but you know it's gonna be consistent. And that's how I feel like with guitar and even working out. It's just like a hack, really, to keep being consistent. But I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching my podcast. Go follow me on my other social medias. Like I said, my TikTok is Vivacious Embrace, and then my Instagram is Vivacious Embrace underscore. But that will be changed like in another week or two, when hopefully I will be able to fucking change it. What other platforms do I have? Um, you can follow me on Substack. I think it's Vivacious Embrace too, and also Threads. What else? What else do I want to promote? Yeah, I guess that's it, really. And go check out my other fucking YouTube videos. Go check out my other podcast episodes. Go watch my content on TikTok. I have some really juicy fucking videos on there. Like, honestly, like if I was not the owner of my account, and if I was somebody else, bitch, I'd follow me. Like, I'd follow me, period. Period. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And like I said, if you have anything that has been coming up for you in this eclipse season, let me know. I really want to engage. I really want to know. But peace. I love you guys.